Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel as Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back again with another House of the Dragon review. And today we have Season 1, Episode 8, The Lord of the Tides. And this episode here was one with a really interesting ending here, and one that was definitely going to be getting the community talking. But here, if you have not seen all the way through House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 8, definitely come back to this video once you have and check it out here. Definitely want to give that spoiler warning for any new viewers here or anyone who hasn't seen through. This will be a spoiler review. So here for episode number 8, this was a really interesting episode. I feel like a lot of things in this episode got rehashed and have been rehashed from a lot of the previous points here. We see a recast of the kids here, and I think they do a really great job with some and not a good job with others. I think Aemond was perfectly recast. This actor who plays Aemond looks amazing and does a lot of amazing work. But the one who was recast as Aegon seems a little bit weak at this point and doesn't seem as strong. Maybe he will grow on me in the future, but hopefully that is the case. And we see Rhaenyra's kids as well, Jason, Luke, getting recast here too, being older, and Daemon and Laena's kids as well. So that was definitely interesting to see, and one of the first things that stands out about this episode here. And one thing that I just got to get out of the way real quick for this episode is Paddy Considine's performance as King Viserys. We see, all season King Viserys has been deteriorating, and just now he's bedridden. He can't even do anything, and we see like half his face is gone, and he's literally dead, like literally on his last leg. He can barely even walk, and there's just so much that he does in this episode that's really great. But I would say that this episode has a lot of rehashing of things that we've seen in previous episodes. We see at the start the whole who is going to be the next Lord of Driftmark since Corlys is gone. Is it going to be his brother or Luke, who is Rhaenyra's son here? And of course, Corlys' brother has all these accusations here, and believing that he's true Valyrian blood, and of course calling her kids bastards. And we see just how crazy this ends up. King Viserys comes in right before everything hits the fan. Then when shit hits the fan, Daemon here of course cuts off Corlys' brother, and that was a really insane moment for this episode here. Definitely something that was really, like I said, real interesting, and see another big character death here. And it just really rehashes this point of Rhaenyra's bastards in line of succession, because this has been a point ever since her kid's been born, that this has been just such a reoccurring topic here. And we see how Viserys has this whole big dinner for everyone and just explains and reiterates how he wants everyone to get along and wants there to be love and peace. And we see how it's just, they try. Rhaenyra gives a toast to Alicent gives a toast to Rhaenyra, but then when Viserys leaves, Aemond of course does a one last toast and sort of makes that remark of strong here, of course Harwin strong, and they just lose it and they just cannot get along, and it's just really crazy. We see how this just keeps being brought up again, and it's eventually just gonna be one too many times, and it's going to lead to this all-out big war here where the tension's been building all season. And we get the big death of King Viserys at the end of the episode, and him talking about the prince that was promised to Alicent here. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen in the following episode here. Of course, King Viserys is such a big part of this show, and we saw he was deteriorating. I thought he was going to end up dying in the season 1 finale, but they ended up killing him off here at the season 8 episode here, or season 1 episode 8 I should say here. And it was just a really crazy moment here that is going to stick with a lot of people, as of course if you've seen Game of Thrones, Ned Definitely one that sticks out to you. I think King Viserys will stick out to a lot of people here, as he was sort of the main character of the show. You know, being a king for so long and ruined for so long with so many different time jumps and time skips in the first season here. And it's just going to be really interesting to see how this war is seemingly going to be breaking out here, because we know that Rhaenyra is as heir, but now Alicent has all this information. She, of course, is on Aegon's side, the Greens versus the Blacks. It's going to be insane battle between the two House of the Dragon groups, and I'm going to be totally on the edge of my seat. Game of Thrones is always known for having episode 9 being like the best episode of the season. For the first 6 seasons, any season that had episode 9, it was an absolute banger, and I think that the next week's episode is going to be just that. But this week's episode, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I know the huge death of King Viserys is something that a lot of people are going to stick with. Are going to be like, this is the episode that's really big for that. But I just feel like there was a lot of rehashing of stuff we already knew. Just tension building up, and no big event other than King Viserys' death to bring that together. Like, and what I mean is, King Viserys' death is so impactful and so important now, but you know, we don't really get to see the consequences of his death until the next episode here, which is why I think the next episode is going to be great, because we're going to finally see those consequences. But like I said, this episode was like an 8 out of 10. It was still a really good episode, but definitely just a step back from previous week's episode. But I definitely have confidence that this is going to finish strong here, and we are going to see 2 really great episodes to wrap up the season. So yeah, that's going to do it here for the House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 8 review. Take care, everyone, and peace out.